So what does the gain knob on a preamp do? Now, with this, oh my God, it took me hundreds of hours to really figure out bit depth and its relationship to microphone clipping. And I feel like this is going to take me 100 hours too, unless somebody out there can help me or basically say that, yes, you're in the right direction or I've got it. I'll explain how I think it works later. But I used to believe until a few weeks ago that the way that the gain knob worked is I understand that in a voltage you have a microphone current, it goes into an amplifier, and the amplifier sort of works by having this large stream of electricity going down, let's say 1 volt of electricity, and although the mic's electricity is in the millivolts, the thousandths of a volt, basically its vibrations would affect the vibrations of the big screen. So in a sense, the waves of the microphone would be duplicated in the waves of a larger current, a larger voltage. And that's how the amplifier worked. And when you put up the gain, you'd actually increase the voltage coming into it. So as the little microphone source wiggled, there's just more electrons that would affect it. That's how I thought it worked. I was wrong, I believe. And of course, I stumbled upon this to start to realize this, in my research on bit depth and clipping. And then I think this was the first site I looked at where I was like, So like here's the volume control for the mic, right? Because here's the mic coming into the ADC. I thought the volume control would be up in the 5 volt thing where you get the external power, right? This is going to go into the preamp of the ADC. I would have thought that would be the volume control. The gain knob would have been here. But the gain knob isn't there in this thing. And this thing is very, high level. So then I started to look at other preamp designs like this one and this one, and I'm not great at reading schematics. Of course, I could just go get out my electronics parts and start doing stuff. Anyway, then I went into, it's right here. And then I went into ChatGPT, which I really love because it's basically like having an expert friend that you can just talk with. And it's so funny because it'll say things. I'm like, I don't get it. And then it'll go, I apologize for my confusion. And I just want to say I am very good at getting ChatGPT to apologize over and over and over again for saying misleading stuff. So I feel smart. Of course I'm not, but anyway, if you haven't used ChatGPT, go take anything that you're interested in, ask it questions, and you'll find if you know something about it, you'll be able to ask it other questions. It'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. Anyway, let's get back to the gain knob. So it's hard to find something, but here, and this is video, and this video is in Indian, so I can't understand it. And actually, there are a few videos out there that do microphone preamps, but I think this one will actually have something I can show better. So if you click on the design in it under his technical diagram, you'll get this. And so right here, here's the input mic. So this very clearly shows what's going on. You have the mic, and here is the mic volume. That's the gain knob. He's calling volume, but it's actually the gain. So the gain happens long before. See, the current is here, right? So on the way a preamp works is the current goes into it. Like I said, it's a big stream goes into it. So the mic is this little stream, and then this is a big stream going into it, right? And this stream is going to match this stream going through this. So as we can see, the gain is in front of the is in the microphone chain. Now, I didn't believe that. So the reason I thought it's the other way is I couldn't believe. I was thinking, the microphone signal is so small and so weak, and that's what you need a preamp for, that why would you ever want to limit the current of it, or the voltage of it, right? It's so small, you can want to amplify it. So the only thing you could really change is the large amplification. And this is where our assumptions on things that makes so much sense in any kind of technology really can kill us. So again, I've been wrong about it. I just cannot conceive how that would ever be happen. And the reason I was wrong about it is I didn't really understand resistance, impedance, voltage, current, and I'm still not quite sure that I totally understand it. But again, I'm going to go into it later, what I think is going on. But just to be clear that this sort of misconception isn't like it's crazy to have. So when I'm talking to ChatGPT, oh yeah, I think it's down here. So ChatGPT says when the potentiometer, and that's the gain knob essentially, is set to fire truck, set to its minimum resistance, e.g. turned all the way counterclockwise. So when you have the gain knob all the way to the bottom, right, 0, the resistance between the center pin and ground is essentially 0. So basically what it's saying is all the current from the microphone is flowing through. When the potentiometer is set to its maximum resistance, e.g. turned all the way clockwise, so when you turn the gain all the way up, the resistance is at the maximum. So why would you put a lot of resistance into the weak microphone signal to get a higher amplification? It's counterintuitive to me. So this is what I think happens. And again, I've searched the internet for explanations of this, and they're just so hard to find. Hopefully some of you watching this can say this, but this is sort of what I think happens. Now, the water analogy to voltage and current is faulty, as many people have pointed out. But it sort of works. And in the hose idea, you have a hose of water, right? And when the gain is on down, the water is going out, just naturally. Now, when you turn the gain up, it's actually constricting, creating more resistance. Now, where it's not like, and I think I have actually a diagram of this. And this to me is true, but it's sort of false. Like it says, okay, the nozzle is open, high pressure in the hose, low flow through the nozzle, low power output. Nozzle open a lot, high pressure in hose, same before, high flow through nozzle, high power output. But is that true? Is it really power? And I think, that that's what it comes down to. Is like, what are you defining power as? So I think what happens in a microphone preamp, when you have the microphone's current coming through, it's sort of like a hose. It's wide open, the current's going through, and it's hitting the preamp. But because the water pressure, well, it's not the pressure, because the velocity of the water is so slow, it's not making an impression on the preamp. In other words, it's not hitting that gate to regulate the larger 1-volt current, the output of the preamp. So what happens is that when you turn up the gain knob, what you're really doing is you're putting your thumb on the hose so that the water squirts out faster. In a sense, it doesn't have more pressure than the water coming the hose. That's impossible. It's the same amount of pressure, right? In a way. But effectively, it has more pressure because the hole is condensing this pressure. Each little water molecule, it's going further and it's hitting harder. So if I take a hose, right, to you, and let's just say for the sake of argument that somebody at the other end of the water source is like changing the water source, like making it bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller, so like vibrating it like noise, right, like audio, like sounds, I should say. So putting all these vibrations in the water, right? And I take the hose over to you and I put it against your chest, right? And the water's dribbling out to your chest. And I'm saying, do you feel like the different pulses that so-and-so is doing, the different vibrations he's sending, right? My guess is you wouldn't feel it. But then let's just say that I held my thumb on it and now it's going forcefully on your chest. Would you feel the vibrations, right? The changes in water pressure in a sense that the friend behind me is doing? I think you would. I got to do this experiment, but I mean, that's what I think is sort of happening. When you're increasing the gain knob, you're creating the resistance in such a way that you're not limiting the current as much as you're creating more power in that smaller current to drive the preamp. You're basically saying, I don't want all your information. Actually, I just want to like compress that information into enough that's really going to operate the preamp effectively. So I think that when you're getting current, every preamp, right, it's tuned, the chemicals in it, the materials in it, they will amplify based on a certain amount of current, right? They're designed for that. And the gain knob is only to try and get the relationship of the pressure to the current, in a sense, or the pressure of the current to match what the preamp is going to amplify. So I think that's what's going on. I'm going to keep researching it. I want to try and do at least a video every week, but that's what I'm working on lately. And please, in the comments, if you have a good way of explaining this, how the preamp knob works, even though when you read about it and you study about it, it seems counterintuitive, please, I would love for you to put that in there. And then in the next video, I'll put what you said. So thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful.